Hey everyone! Happy New Year! I nearly did it again. Happy New Year! Welcome to Spoilers and Fandom, the first show of 2019.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's slowly enough for you to remember what you
Yes.
Yes.
Today we're talking about the Malazan Book of the Fallen, Book 1, Gardens of the Moon, Volume 1, by Steven Erikson.
Yes. Highly specific.
Yes.
Yeah.
Highly specific.
Yes.
Category.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of confusion with the things within this book that we'll go over now. So, in case you're joining us for the first time, we pick something and we decide to go through it over the next 2 weeks. We took 3 weeks for this because of the holidays. But yeah, we go over it and we discuss it. The first half, we will talk about this without any spoilers to the best of our ability, and then we'll warn you when we will start talking about spoilers.
Then at that point you can tune out
Yeah.
until maybe when you finish, and then you tune back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, I think some people listen to the spoiler part and they're more likely to be
To
inclined
listen
to
to it.
actually check out whatever we're talking about.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what I've noticed as well.
Yeah.
The choice is yours.
Yeah. And so Hillary, you picked this book,
Yes.
and it is a book.
Yeah. It's a story and a half.
So,
A tomb.
yeah. And again, we are joined today by Ed.
Hey.
Words.
Why, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cackling
Yeah.
guy from last time.
Yeah.
But
he
died.
he was on. You did the last Starfighter
Oh, yeah,
episode
yeah, we
with
did.
us last
Yes.
time. Yeah. Yeah.
The B plot.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was a
So
good movie.
that was
That was interesting.
yeah. That was I would say interesting. Yeah.
Watch it. I'd say watch it when you're drunk
Yeah.
or on an altered state
Yeah.
of some sort. Because that's how I did. I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
We'll
so
see.
for this, it's a fantasy book.
It's actually
And it's a little tricky to talk about. So volume 1 is from chapter 1 to 10. Okay, so let's try and sum up the plot without spoiling. So the overall plot, correct me if I'm wrong, is in this world you have an empire, sort of like an empire taking over all the other countries and free cities that exist, right?
Yes.
And so the overall plot is there's something going wrong in the empire in terms of they're like factions developing within it that's trying to undermine the empress's will, I guess. And at the same time they're trying to expand their territories. So that's the general plot. But this book does something weird, which is it tells the story of different characters who have their own plots going on that kind of feed into this overall empire plot.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think what might be easier to do is maybe we talk briefly about the main characters, because there are quite a few main characters. And they're not really spoilers as such if we don't go into too much detail.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because they're very likable characters. They're like maybe 15 characters, maybe 10 to 15 characters.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Something.
It's
It's a number.
That's a
Yeah.
fair number that you
Yeah.
can deal with.
But they're
starting out.
They're
Yeah.
all kind of unique-ish.
Yeah.
So and they all have something to do with either the empire or whoever's not in the empire.
Yeah.
Is the way I'll put it. So why don't we talk about the Imperials first? Now, in the Empire itself, it's sort of like a Skyrim, well, like an Elder Scrolls situation, where there are many different races, sort of that encompass the Empire.
Yes.
So, like the Empress herself is described as not being human, kind of like a blue person. That's how she's described. Meanwhile, most of the main Imperial characters are human.
But just
Yeah.
regular people.
Yeah. Although again, so yeah, like so the main character, I think the star who you think is the star first is Perrin. Perrin is the first character we get introduced to right at the start when he's a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's Perrin and Whiskey Jack. So Perrin is a sort of noble-born.
At that point in the story, he's a child.
Yeah, but he wants to be a soldier, and he has this fantasy about what soldiers are.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have Whiskey Jack, who is an older soldier.
A general, I think, at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that point, yeah.
He is an older soldier, and he's part of like a group called the Bridge Burners.
Yes.
Yeah.
And these guys are like the old emperor's like favorite
He's like the
faction,
elite.
I guess.
The elite
Yeah.
squad or
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. And right now, so the thing is, the new empress is sort of has this policy of getting rid of old guard nonsense to kind of strengthen her hold. She wants loyalty to just her, not really loyalty to what was there before or after. Sort of typical empire bullshit nonsense. Yeah. So he is the leader of the Bridge Burners, and within his squad, you get introduced to an assassin called Kalam, who is described as a black guy, kind of Arab-looking. His name is Kalam, and kind of chubby.
Because he's a
for an
big
assassin.
dude.
Yeah, he's
He's a big guy, but he
but
doesn't
he-
make any
he's
noise
quiet.
when he walks.
Yeah, he's like
yes.
he's described as moving like a snake and that kind of stuff. And his best friend is a wizard called Quick Ben,
Yeah.
who is a very mysteriously powerful mage. Who,
But he sounds really old.
Quick Ben?
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay, in the audiobook anyway. The way the
He sounds
The narrator does it, he sounds like an older.
yeah.
he sounds like kind of like frail a bit.
For me, he felt like for me, I picture Kalam as being you know in Aladdin.
Yes.
Those
head of the
guards?
guard.
No,
Yeah.
not the head of the guard. One of the shorter, fatter guards is how I picture Kalam. Kind of with the hat, like a
Yes.
turban coming down to his eyes. You know, like I picture that kind of guy being Kalam. Okay.
Like a road
And
turn.
by the way, for some reason, a lot of these characters, I imagine them being from Aladdin. Like an Aladdin kind of aesthetic. And so Kalam would
That's
be
interesting.
a skinnier, taller version of that guy. If you remember the guards in Aladdin, there was the main big guy,
Yeah.
the
then
short
shorter
guy, and
yes.
a
skinny
skinnier,
guy.
Yeah.
slightly taller guy. Yeah. So I imagined him being Quick Ben.
The skinny guy is quick.
Which
Ben.
Quick Ben
Yeah.
or Kalam?
Quick Ben.
Oh,
Quick
Quick
Ben
Ben
being the skinny guy,
and
Kalam
Kalam
being the
big-
short,
short
round
Road
guy. Yeah.
Rotund guy.
Yeah. And so also in this squad of bridge burners there is Hedge and Fiddler, who are basically saboteurs,
Yeah.
who work with bombs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is Trots, who is a different race from all of them. He is blue-skinned, and he's sort of described as like an orc kind of hybrid kind of guy. Like he's got tattoos, weird dreads with charms on them, and they're one of the species that was conquered by the Empire a while ago. Even Kalam and Quick Ben, they're part of a nation called the Seven Nations or Seven Armies or Seven something.
armies.
Yeah, yeah. They're Seven Cities.
Oh, seven
cities.
cities,
Yeah. So they're part of that nation that was conquered. Trots is I forgot what Trots was, but he's a different species. Then there's a medic called Mallet.
Yeah.
There's a medic called Mallet and another assassin with them who's called Sorry, who has joined them, and no one likes Sorry. I won't go into details why.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's it for
The bridge burn.
the Bridge Burners faction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the Empire, there's also Agent Lorne, who is the Empress's right hand. Yeah, she is the arm of the Empire. She carries out the Empress's will, and she enlists Perrin as her commander or something. Like she basically takes Perrin under her wing and gives him orders, and they're sort of like Black Ops stuff.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so they're under the Empire. Then there's another faction called the Claws, who are, again, assassins for the Empire. Highly trained ninja kind of guys. Okay?
Yeah.
And so within them, there's a guy called Topper, who is a very creepy kind of assassin who works for the Empire. There is a guy called Tok the Younger, who is also a Claw. I'm not going to spoil it. I nearly spoiled the details on something. I caught
We're just
myself.
naming the characters.
Yeah, Tok the Younger. That's the other faction. And then you have Taishran, who is
The head mage.
he's the high mage of the Empire. Then you have Dujek One Hand.
One arm.
One arm.
Yeah, or one arm. Yeah,
No,
Dujek
one
one
hand,
arm.
yeah.
Yeah, one hand, one arm. He has one arm.
Mono arm.
And he is the most respected general of all the Empire's armies. And he's part of the Old Guard as well.
Yes.
But super well respected. Then there is Tattersail, who is also a mage. Yeah. She's also a mage for the Empire. And she's sort of under Dujek. And there's Hairlock.
And a bunch of other mages who form a
but
There's
yeah.
a cadre of mages that are underneath now.
Yeah, under Dujek, right. So I think that's it for the Empire itself.
Yeah.
In terms of now the other races, you have the Moranth, who are described as, in weird ways, man, the Moranth army. They're sort of like allied with the Empire,
Yeah.
but they're described weird. Like at one point they were described
Insectoid, yeah.
Insectoid-ish.
Yeah.
Because they have like chitin armor.
Exactly. So at one point they're described as being half human, half animal, or something else, right?
Yeah.
Another person describes them as being the true humans of this world.
What?
So I was like, what the hell? Like, this makes no sense.
Which is it?
Yeah. And they're very interesting. Like, their culture is super trippy. I'll get to
We'll
it
talk
later.
to it.
Yeah, I'll talk about
And
it
they have
later.
like very interesting mounts. I'll just
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
if this was like an online game,
Yeah.
guys would want this race. For the mounts,
For the mounts.
low.
Yeah, yes. They're like
This-
animal
Yeah.
tamer kind of people.
Yeah. And
And,
as far as
also the way their faction works is they divide themselves into colors
Yes.
with what their functions are and stuff like that. Yeah.
Specialized, yeah.
Yeah.
According to
So
colours.
that's I think that's everything on the Empire side.
that's everything on
The
one side.
Empire side, right? Then you have well, let's talk about Daru'Histan. Okay?
Oh, you don't
The
even
guys-
want to go to
The gods, we'll go to the gods. They're gods as well.
not even the gods. I
They're-
mean,
and then the guys who
Ascendants, eh?
the castle.
the castle?
Yeah.
You mean Moonspawn?
Yes.
Okay, so the guys who are opposing the Empire are called the Tister Andi. And they're a race, they're described as, I think they're the closest things to elves, I guess, in this world.
Yes.
But like dark elves.
Yes.
But specifically, they're described as being completely black.
Very tall.
And,
Quite tall.
and yeah, about 7 feet is like the average size or something like that. Or at least one of them is described as being that tall.
Yes. yeah.
Right? So they come from a floating city called Moonspawn.
Yes.
And this city literally floats and goes from place to place. So now within this faction, you have, I won't spoil one of the reveals, I guess, but you basically have their leader who is called Animander Rake, who
Badass name.
Ever. Yes.
he's my favorite character.
Like every single one of his titles
Yeah.
can be the bad guy
Animander
in
Ray.
any book.
He is.
He can be the hero. He
So-
can be the bad
He can
guy
be
in any
any-
book with any one of his titles.
So
the
this guy is described as being 7 feet tall and carrying around this black blade that is as big as he is, that has a black leaking power draining from it.
Yeah.
That if you focus on and are magically inclined, you will just hear chains and weird, ominous carts being
Yes,
pulled and
exactly.
crap like that.
Yeah.
It's described so well. This guy is, and every time he appears, it's like it's very Bleach.
Yes.
Like there's like Reiatsu pushing guys down. Like it's very like Kenpachi is in this area kind of shit going on with.
You guys, you're overwhelmed. You're overpowered.
yes.
Yeah, he's
checked in.
yeah. So there's him and Crone. Crone is he is a great raven. So he's a bird who's basically kind of a spy for Anamander Rake,
But he's
and
like the leader of.
and he's the leader of basically ravens, I guess, or he's the mother. She's the mother of ravens, and so she has magic as well, and yeah. It's just interesting having a non-humanoid character, I guess, in this book.
It is.
And then now the Moonspawn are sort of allied with one of the cities that was conquered, which is called Pale. I won't talk about the other alliances right now because they're spoilers. But he's also allied with another group called the Crimson Guard, which is led by a guy called Brood. Kaladin Brood, right?
Yes.
Who
Also, epic names.
who at least in chapter 1 is not described in too much detail though. Yeah. The names are awesome.
All the names
They
are
are fantastic.
awesome.
They're
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, how would you describe Kaladin Brood? Like he's described, he has a warhammer.
Yeah. He's just
And he
hugely
has kind of
muscular.
dreads, but is he Testerandi?
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
he's not described as just Andy.
Yeah. But he has Testerandi
And
under his command.
Under his command. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wonder why.
So he is
What the relationship
allied.
is. What the
Yes,
relationship is.
yes,
Yeah.
he is allied with Anamander Rake, and so those are the main guys opposing the Empire. But then there's now a city. One of the cities, basically there are two cities when the book starts that aren't conquered by the Empire. One's called Pale, and the other one is called Daru'Histan.
Daru'Histan.
In Daru'Histan, you have the next set of really main characters, I would say. You have a little kid who's like 14. He's called Crocus. Okay? And his friends are a weird bunch. There's another assassin called Ralik Nom, who is described as looking like a killer and being a killer for hire. And he's part of the Assassin's Guild in Daru'Histan.
Yeah.
Then there's his close friend is a guy called Murillo, who is a player.
Even just by the name.
Yeah, Murillo.
Like, ooh.
Yeah.
You just know he has a mustache.
Yeah, he's a player. And then there is Cropper, who is
Yes.
he basically is sort of like their middleman for selling stuff that they come across, or he gets them jobs to do.
Fence.
Yeah, he's like their fence, but he's also a mage, and he has these weird ass dreams that are really intuitive for what's really happening. They give you a lot of insight as a reader as to what is going on, and he plays a bigger role, which I won't spoil. But yeah, there's him and a friend called Cole, who is described as a big guy who's always drunk. And that's their little group of friends or faction. Now, but within Daru'Histan, it's led by a council of fake rulers, I guess.
Yeah.
The Assassin's Guild.
Yeah.
And an alchemist called Baruch.
Oh, that guy.
There's and so Baruch is supposed to be this really powerful mage who isn't really he claims to not have any power in the city, but he literally is the most powerful mage there, and all the other mages in the city follow his orders. So he is kind of the unsaid ruler of Daru'Histan.
Yes.
There is also a mysterious kind of character called the Eel in the city, who is playing his own little games. He or she is playing his own little or her own little games.
Power plays
Yeah.
and have you.
Yeah. But those I guess are the main characters. But then this book adds another element, which is gods. And so the main plot is there's stuff going on in the Empire, and the gods are also playing their own games within this whole mix.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have basically a thing between Shadow Throne, which is sort of like the gods of shadow, you could say, or gods of assassins, something like that. And the god of luck, called Opon. Yeah. Who is a twin. Yeah.
Two sides of a coin.
Yeah. One's they're basically twins.
Yes.
Boy and a girl. And I won't spoil what Shadow Throne is, because that comes
That's
later.
part of the story.
Yeah.
But I think what we
So-
should do is cover
The
the big,
subplots.
not even the subplots. Like a big part of the book for me was the description of magic.
Yes,
Which
the
was-
way magic
The
works
system.
is
it's
amazing.
fantastic. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the writing. Yeah, because that's where that comes in, right?
Yeah.
So the way this book does it is it doesn't tell you this is just how things work.
Yeah.
No, you're basically fed information, and it's up to you to kind of put it together.
Yeah.
I think this is the best part of the book.
Yeah. Because it feeds you in slowly.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is why it's so hard to even talk about this entire book
Spoilers.
without talking about the characters, without talking
Giving
about the
up too
subplots.
much, yeah.
Because you literally have been reading this thing that is just a jigsaw puzzle, and you're putting pieces together.
Yes.
It is masterfully done, I would say.
Yeah.
So, how do you think magic works?
Okay, for me, the most basic thing that I can talk about is as a mage, you'll find like imagine magic working like based on dimension.
Yes.
Yes.
So
That's it. You open up portals.
Yeah, you open up a portal to another dimension and you draw power from it.
Yeah.
So like all these gods work in specific dimensions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're called warrens in the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like all these warrens have different powers. They have different abilities.
They have different interactions.
Different
with
interactions.
The world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the one warren which I don't think had mages at the beginning of the story is the realm of shadow. Is the warren of shadow. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's I guess that's spoiler though if we go into
no.
talking about that.
We won't talk specifically. We'll talk about it in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of the warrens, now that's how mages like
Yeah.
Yes. Draw power.
Draw the power
and
from.
Yeah.
So
cast
some
spells.
mages like what's her name? Like Tattersail.
Tattersail's Warren was I forgot what it was.
I can't remember the name.
But her the god that has control over that is Opon.
Yeah,
I guess.
god of luck.
Yeah,
essentially.
the god of luck.
Yeah.
But she draws power from that Warren.
Yeah, she
right?
does power from that warren. And you can use warrens to traverse, like sort of kind of like
You can
teleportation.
travel.
Yeah.
Yes,
So you can travel through that dimension to get
Exactly.
somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Like Topper.
Yeah, like Topper, the way he goes and
Yeah.
meets people.
It shortens your time.
Yeah, it's not like instantaneous.
Yes,
it will still take a couple of
Yes.
days.
Yes.
You're going to another dimension, traveling from there, and then
And
coming
then
out.
coming back out the
Yes.
other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now the elements of power of these warrens, I don't know how to describe it because, like what you said about Anamandarik,
Yeah.
Yeah.
when
So
people with power feel you can sense
You can sense someone's
warrens.
using a word.
Yeah, you can sense the use of warrens around you.
Yeah.
And certain warrens have different like telltale
synergies with
signs.
each other. Yeah.
synergies and certain telltale
Yeah.
signs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's the best I can do without necessarily giving anything away.
Yes.
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 All away.
Yeah. No, we don't want to.
Yeah.
Those were for me when you finally figure something out. Those were the moments I was like, no way.
You're just excited. You're happy.
Yeah. Also, the other thing that this guy does in the book is so he's writing it from the perspective of different, not a first person perspective of different characters, but it's almost like a show or a movie or an anime where you're seeing these characters move around, right? And so you get these moments where he will move, like he'll describe something happening to a character, and then if there's another character that notices this character in the book, he'll go into details of that character and turns out it's one of the main characters.
Yeah.
So it's one of these guys. As an example, that isn't really spoiler, I'll make one up. Let's say one day Ralik is on a rooftop and he's about to kill someone, and as he's about to kill someone, he'll notice someone in the street just dropped a melon on the ground. Okay?
Yeah.
And he'll then refocus on killing that person who he's trying to kill and kill them. Then he'll tell the story of now that person who dropped the melon on the ground. Turns out he was actually maybe Perrin or something, who dropped a melon on the ground because of something significant. And you get this weird indirect interaction between characters that they don't know each other yet.
Yes.
But you as the reader know them very intimately.
Yes.
Right. So it's so well done, I think. And it's so much like a show.
You're saying it's like a show. For me, I played. Sorry, I didn't play it. I read
it feels like a game as well. Yeah. This would be such a good game.
Yeah.
Well, not an online game. It would be such a good story game.
Imagine I actually feel like it would be fantastic online.
God. Yeah.
Yeah, because now all those characters, all the major characters are NPCs.
Yeah.
But then now you are like a soldier fighting in the war. You are like a mage fighting in that same war. You go into the warrens, you see the stuff that's there. Exploring this world would be fantastic.
Yes, it is a brilliant world. Yes,
It's very well.
It really is. Yeah.
In fact, I think you guys might have heard that when Erikson was writing this, at some point it was supposed to be a screenplay. It was pitched.
Yes.
I have never heard of this guy. I have never heard of Steven Erikson. I have never heard of these books before. They're so good. God.
But there's good reason why you haven't heard. It's not as sexy as high fantasy with all these.
Dude, I think it is blown.
But this
like the others out of the water.
Wait, if you like this, then the next time that I have a book, in fact, there's no point in waiting until then. I'll just give you guys another recommendation that you might like if you like this. Because I was told the same thing, and I flew through that one. Because I was told either read these Malas and books, but there's another set called, I can't remember what they're called, but I know the first book is called The Blade Itself. Yeah. I can't remember what
Find out. We'll give it a drop on the next episode or something.
Even on Twitter, on IG, we'll just write the title of the book as well.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So
but
it's similar. It's similar to this. It's similar to this.
Should we just go into spoilers though?
I
think that's
before that, because before guys now get into the spoilers, you have to tell them what we thought of the book.
Yeah. So
what did you like? What did you like the most about the book?
For me,
no spoiler free first.
Yeah, spoiler free. I like
and then a rating.
Yeah. So spoiler free. I love the characters. There are many characters, and honestly, we have not given them justice in describing them the way that we have. Yeah. But we should talk. Well, we'll talk about the plots in the spoiler section, right?
So we can free ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes. Open.
So I love the characters. I love the world design. I love the way this guy has written has just blown my mind. Because every chapter. This is worth mentioning as well. You know when you play an RPG game, right?
Yeah.
Like Elder Scrolls or The Witcher, you find all these books that exist in the world.
Yeah.
Before every chapter of this book begins, you get a poem or a passage from a book that exists in this world.
Yeah.
And it is, initially, it's a little weird to get used to, but eventually you can't wait to listen to the next. And they give you this hidden background information slowly, and again, it's more pieces for you to put stuff together. I think that is just so well done. It is so brilliant, and it really makes this world completely believable. Honestly,
it's very tangible.
Yeah, for me, this is better than Lord of the Rings by miles for me. I really enjoyed this book.
Out of 10?
Out of 10, I give it a 9.
Wow.
This is the highest rating I've ever given.
Shit.
Yeah, no, I give it a 9. This book got me into wanting to get through books.
Yes.
Again, I've never had so much psych for books. And I feel like the shit thing is this book has spoiled me.
No, it gets
And I feel like what I've read till now is shit. It's
go
really
back
good. Yeah, it's really, really good. I'd say it loses. So I listened to the audio version of this book. I honestly would not be able to read this book like with actual words. I think it loses a point for that. Like you mentioned you've tried reading it a few times and you couldn't.
Yeah, like for me.
And some other people we talked to about this book also said the same thing. Like it was really hard.
Yeah.
As an audiobook, it is easy.
Yeah.
You will get through it and it is worth it.
Yeah.
And also another thing that this book made me do is I actually went and looked at fan art for concept art for like after reading this book.
Yes.
Because I was like, I need to see what drawings people have come up with, and I found some.
Yeah.
I can't link them on this video; they're copyright. I even checked because I wanted to add them.
Yeah.
I can't. They're copywritten, but they're on a website called A Beginner's Guide to the Malazan Empire, or the Malazan books, or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Really, really cool designs.
What do you think of the book's rating at the end?
Well,
Because also, sorry to interrupt.
Without spoilers.
Yeah, without spoilers, and he's ahead of us.
Yeah.
He's actually like on book 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been reading Memories of Ice for quite a while, and I read the first 2 books, the Gardens of the Moon and Dead House Gates, right? Yeah, I burned through them as best as you can with a Malazan book because, as Sujay said, they're quite dense, and the worlds are very tangible, lived in, and the way the books are written, it feels like it's the way you get into the cultures of everybody and the cities and what have you. It feels like a sociologist who's just breaking down how people live their lives and what their cultures are like, what religions and what have you, and expectations, things like that. But I love the book. It's fantastic. It's very different from anything I'd read up until that point. It's even I feel like this is if I was to pair it with a movie, right? This would be a David Fincher treatment of what a fantasy world would be. And anything I'd read before, like the Peter V. Brett Demon books, is like more of the Steven Spielberg-y kind of, fast-paced.
Yeah, it's fast-paced. It's what more guys are used to. Yeah.
I want to give it a 10. It was actually will give it a 10 because it's the kind of book that shows you that fantasy can be something entirely different.
Yeah, even for fantasy fans.
For fantasy fans as well.
This is a different thing.
Exactly. I was like, what have I been missing? I'm like, yes. Fantasy books. What the hell?
What have I been? The thing that I can agree on is that they are not easy. It's not something you just dive into and you're done in seconds. It takes work, but it rewards the effort that you put into reading the books. Yes. And what is the other thing you asked me about?
No, you've read
I'm done.
it.
The rating and
So
yes, and it gets a lot more intense in the other books. A lot more.
Yeah. I will say that the loose ends from volume 1, like none of the actual plots that we talk about are actually finalized, except for something really minor that's finalized in chapter 4, I guess. But none of the plots actually end. In volume 1. And they take twists in volume 2. But that's all I'll say.
So for me, I don't know. Like, I'd tried reading this book a couple of times, at least twice before. But I was reading physically. But ebooks. So I tried the first time, didn't get halfway. Tried the second time, got 3/4 through the book and stopped. I can't remember why I stopped. I just stopped. Then that's the reason why I picked this book now for this, because I was like, the only way I'll be able to finish it now is if I put a timeline on it. So I decided, when he said that he's going to read volume 1, the first half of the book, I was like, fine, I can do that easy. So I sat down, started reading. Funnily enough, I couldn't read. When he told me he got the audiobook, I switched to the audiobook. Burned through it easy. So the audiobook is way
I think
better.
reading these words is a little rough.
Yeah, it's also
like,
it's a lot of work.
Because like none of these words are real words. Like we talked about like we were discussing it in another group, I guess. like this has words that don't exist, and so I see myself looking at a word and being pissed off at, like, if I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like Toblakai.
Yeah.
What the hell is
What is that?
Toblakai? What is
So
that?
yeah, shit like that can really
And I don't know if this is a spoiler.
What?
If I was to name a race, that
The
Tlani
IMAS. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot to
Yeah.
mention
Yeah.
Tool as one of the main characters as well.
Yes, yeah.
But the thing he's introduced towards the end, but you can. He is a main character.
Yeah.
He's just introduced later on in the book.
Yeah.
And they're a race of undead kind of beings. But not like typical undead again. Nothing in this book
Is
is
typical.
typical.
Yeah.
So
Every
they are
single-
undead, but they speak and they're quite coherent. And they have a story behind them, but that's spoilers.
Big
Yeah.
story.
So for me, every single trope that I had coming into as a fantasy fan, and having read fantasy stories, every single fantasy trope that you have at the back of your head, throw it out when you're reading this book. This is not going to live up to anything that you've seen before. Just enter it blank, and that's the best way you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Leave the baggage at the door.
Yeah, leave the baggage at the door and just go for the ride. For me, I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
Because I really enjoy it. I still really
It's
enjoy
been
it.
a struggle for you.
It's just been a struggle.
Yeah, it has been. Not just you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for many
People have
many.
had
Yeah.
issues with
They've
this
had
book.
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
what
I have a feeling now that I'll go through the 10 books and the 3 books for the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I know even if I don't do it like this year or next year,
Eventually.
I'll finish all of them.
And the interesting story, if you've given your rating, right?
Oh, yeah, mine's an 8.
There was a time I was having, I got into a Twitter conversation because Helen O'Hara, she writes for Empire magazine. So she was talking about fantasy books that she should be recommended. I think so. So I mentioned Malazan, and we got into a small discussion of, it's like, I've heard of those books, it's kind of hard. Like, yeah, it is. No, actually, she was talking about, it was riding on the news of Amazon picking up the LOTR.
Or for the series.
Yes, for the series.
Yeah.
So, like, which other books would guys
make a
want
good
to see?
series.
And I mentioned, Malazan.
good.
This would be insane.
Yes.
It would be so good as like to see these things.
Oh, yeah. I know, man. Rick.
Now, I think we're more or less done.
Okay,
Now
so
we're going to the
let's
spoiler
talk
section.
spoilers, right?
Okay, before we get into spoilers,
Yeah.
I'll say this. Because before, like the time just before I started reading this book, there was another book series that I was reading
Yeah.
called The Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe. Yeah. The first book is called, the series is called The Book of the New Sun. There's several series.
Yeah.
So this book, the first book is called The Sword of the Execution or something like that. Sword of the Lictor, one of those. Anyway, the first book of the series covers, ignore, let me get my mind in the right place. You can rewind this. That's the way Gene Wolfe writes was kind of like a prelude to how Steven Erikson writes, in that it's content heavy
Yeah.
and the story is still compelling. Yeah, it's just that now in his books you're following one character.
Okay.
It's just that guys are added to the story as you progress, but at the end of the day, it's always going to be one main character, one main story, one main thing.
Okay.
But he adds in like loads of details. There's even the littlest thing, like small details into stuff, matter.
Okay.
Yeah. So built now, guys were saying like when I was actually doing my research on this book the first time, guys were saying it felt like Erikson was channeling Wolfe when writing this.
Yes.
Yeah. So he puts in loads of detail into it. So everything feels that much more realistic.
Yeah.
See, I don't like that kind of thing as much. Like in this, what I liked is the minimal. Like this guy does not give enough detail.
Yeah.
Like the first time he's describing Anamander Rake, it's from someone looking at him from a distance.
From 10,000, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's really just 2 sentences that they'll use to describe him. But then later,
Yeah, when it comes in and
you get another 2 sentences that weren't like the first 2 sentences.
Yeah.
And then later on, you get another 2 sentences that aren't and so slowly you build the picture of what this guy looks like.
Yeah.
And it's nuts.
It's like the what you describe is like the thing with the blind man and the elephant, right?
Yeah.
Everybody gets to have a different look at it, perspective, and then you start building in your.
You build a picture in your head. Yeah. But this was my problem with Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
I really hated the amount of detail that would be given to a tree. This is what put me off that book so hard, and I gave up. I tried reading because I love the movies.
Yeah.
I tried reading the books for 3 years, and I only managed to get like midway into the Two Towers.
What?
Yeah. I couldn't
never finished the books?
I couldn't do it. And I don't regret, honestly, like I was so frustrated at that point. I was like, screw it, I enjoyed the movies, leave it. I don't care. Because I'll never forget, they're passing by this character who literally added nothing. And this is why I appreciate editing.
Yes.
I guess when it comes to movies, when they cut stuff out. Like there was that dude with the beard. Right? In Lord of the Rings, for example. The dude with the long beard who has a wife, they stay under a tree or some crap like that.
Or Tom Bombadil.
Oh,
yeah.
the singing guy.
I think he has a hot wife. He has a hot wife.
Yeah. That's Tom Bombadil,
He added nothing to the plot.
Well,
but he has chapters in the book.
Okay, yeah.
In
the grand scheme of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
He didn't add anything.
But
they give
a break.
It gives a break, and it also gives a look into. It was world building at the time because they were saying that the ring, Sauron's ring, would have 0 effect on this guy.
Dude, the tree's description went on for 2 pages.
But it's his house.
Just him plucking a leaf and the way the leaves were and
Lord of the Rings is exposition heavy. This thankfully isn't.
This is more like movement. There's a lot of movement going on in this book.
Yeah.
And it's more, I guess, about
it's more cinematic.
It's more about the world and the
sure.
environment that things are taking place in. Yeah.
No hand holding in this book.
Oh no.
Yes, I would also describe it as Dark Souls, but not as vague and it's not a vague book.
No.
I would not call this book vague like Dark Souls, but there is no hand holding like Dark Souls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we're in the spoiler section. Favorite character.
Favorite character, Anamanda Rake.
You or me?
Yeah.
It's a split between Tok the Younger and Tatasil.
Mine is Tatasil.
Yeah.
I love Tatasil just because of.
She sounds really hot, dude.
Not even just because she sounds hot.
Yes.
It's because, dude, she sucked into the story so specially. Everybody else, in every other story that you read, guys are in the story because he's the best at what he does. He's the chosen
He's
one.
exceptional.
She's special. She's literally dragged into this just because she's in the right place at the right time. That's it. And she's way more.
She is powerful.
She's powerful. She has agency,
but she's humble.
And she's humble. Yeah, she realizes that she's not.
Well, she's not. I wouldn't call her humble.
You wouldn't?
I wouldn't call her humble.
Look,
I would not call her humble.
Okay.
She's refused the job.
That is not humble, man.
She refused the job of High Mage thrice, dude. She refused the job of High Mage thrice.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that way,
There's some
she refused.
humility.
Yeah, she refused the job of High Mage.
Yes.
Sure. Humble though. Dude, when those two banged, that was not humble, man. that dress she wore, not humble, man.
Oh yeah.
Ludacris said it right. Yeah. The lady in the streets.
Yes.
And leave it at that.
Yeah.
So out there, she has one persona. Behind closed doors.
Something else, man.
Yeah,
she does.
She is really. I would say she's the most realistic.
Yeah.
Would I?
Realistic, relatable.
She's super relatable.
Yes,
I would say that.
And like Whiskey Jack and Friends also.
Oh man.
So Whiskey Jack, I think in the first volume he doesn't get as much exposition.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It's only in volume 2 where things sort of
bloom for
tie up
and
you get you figure out what his deal is. But in volume 1, it's more like Perrin is
the main character.
the male relatable guy. Well, sort of. But again, how do you relate to someone who was noble, who had this fantasy about something, and then? Well, I guess you
Lives
could,
it.
right?
It's
like saying it out loud, you could relate to Perrin as well.
Yeah, because Perrin is like high-born with
We're wanting to be.
with more grounded notions. Like he wants to be.
No, he had a fantasy about being a
Yes,
soldier.
he did.
Yeah.
But he achieved it.
Yeah,
He did, and he was he's disappointed.
Yeah.
It
wasn't what
it wasn't what he expected it to be.
Yeah. Oh, just to clarify, this is the spoiler section. So if you don't want spoilers, don't listen anymore. But that said, if you weren't going to read this book, if you listen to the spoiler section, you might actually get an interest.
You might,
'cause it's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's
Yeah.
madness.
Yo, hairlock. Hairlock is
Hey!
freaking insane. I love that
Hairlock
man.
is so Hairlock with the
God.
Chaos Warren.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, isn't this like Space Marines Warhammer universe kind of bullshit? Doesn't it? Imagine what?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Like
Hairlock
I thought
and-
Quick Ben when okay, remember that scene when
Quick
when
Ben
Perrin-
is something.
when
else,
Perrin
by the way.
is dying.
Yeah.
Okay, no, when Hairlock is dying, and then Quick Ben is the one who like binds him to a puppet.
Exactly.
I was like, Quick Ben is insane. I was like, he's now the benchmark of crazy mage.
Yeah.
Then Hairlock comes up and is like being chased by hounds of shadow, and you're like, at this point, you know what they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what they're capable of, and he's literally
A puppet.
baiting them
Exactly.
as a puppet. I'm like, okay, so now Hairlock is freaking insane. Then everything, like all these characters have moments of badassery in the story that
Yeah.
are just amazing.
And no one is a good guy.
Yeah, no one,
No one is a good guy.
It's not that simple. It's not like a kid.
Everyone is great. Everyone.
Everybody.
Like at one point, I'm like reading this book. I thought, well, reading. I'm like listening to this. And I'm like,
yes.
who is I don't know who to like root on for. Like, who is the hero?
okay, I can say maybe the best person
Yeah.
morally. I have a feeling would be Tattersail.
Yes, but also
She's like,
Like,
the
she's
least.
a little
she's like the
weird.
least ambiguous. Let's say that.
like
She's the clearest
let's
one.
let's talk about maybe the characters' plots, right? The subplots that are going on. So with Tattersail, like her deal is, she was in this army, and like she kind of ends up getting dragged along with Whiskey Jack after she gets screwed over by Tayshra, right? And she's trying to figure out what the hell, like these guys are getting screwed by someone in the Empire, and her goal is to figure out what the hell is going on and kind of help them sort it out, like as a means of revenge for Tayshra. So her goal is basically revenge. Somewhere along the way, it becomes a love story as well, I guess.
Yes.
With her and Perrin.
Yes.
And also, but it's still about revenge for what she thinks is happening. Because, that's her story.
That's the core. The essence.
With Whiskey Jack and his crew, it is
all
basically
vengeance.
it is basically
Survival.
we're being sent on a kamikaze mission, and we're going to do it, but no one in his squad understands why. Plus, they have a subplot with Sori, who they suspect is an evil fucker. No one likes her. They have found her doing some very fucked up things, and they're
Yes.
all afraid. They want to kill her.
Yeah. Don't
Quick
But
Ben-
they can't. But they can't
Quick
because they have no
Ben,
reason.
Quick
Exactly.
Ben and Kalam suspect that she is possessed by Shadowthorn. So the god of Shadow has possessed Sori. And it's not like we have no conclusion at the end of Volume 1 about that. Don't ruin it.
Ed-
don't ruin it.
I'll say nothing.
Then there's Opon, who enlists Perrin. Well, he sort of saves Perrin after Sori kills him, because again, Perrin went to go and take control of Whiskey Jack's crew, but Whiskey Jack's crew weren't sure whether Perrin was one of the people who wants them dead or not. Sori killing him seems a little weird, I still don't understand why Sori killed him, except for the fact because after Sori killed him, he then became a pawn of Opon.
Yeah. Because Opon went and...
Opon stopped Hood, who is the god of death, from taking his soul across the gate of hell or whatever, right? Opon stopped that and has blessed his sword.
Yeah.
So then he became a pawn of Opon. So I still don't know why Sori went to go kill Perrin.
Yeah.
I still don't know that.
You'll know.
I still, yeah.
It's dealt with later.
You'll know.
Sure. And then, so his plot is after he then thinks Agent Lorne, who has been his sort of commanding officer, is sort of fucking with everything. And after he becomes Opon's pawn, he's had enough of this shit. Like, people in this world, they don't like the gods. And they don't, because they lose control of their lives and they're just playthings, right?
Yes.
So they have no respect really for most gods, especially soldiers. So he's had enough, and his character changes, and his mission now is to take revenge. Well, no, that comes later. His mission is basically to figure out what the hell is going on as well, in Volume 1 at least, and to try and catch up with Whiskey Jack's dudes. Yeah. Now with the Daru'Histan crew, they're just thieves and stuff, but they have their own internal thing.
It's true.
Rallic and Murillo are trying to frame a hooker. And it's revealed in Volume 2 exactly what the plot is. But they're trying to get revenge on a hooker for something. And that's their plot that they got going on. Crocus is in love with a highborn chick. Again, it's a very Aladdin thing, like Princess Jasmine and Aladdin situation with him.
That's what
and he's in love with this noble woman, and he's just a street rat, right? And Opon has now gifted him with, like, has chosen him as her champion as well. So there's Perrin and Crocus. And so they both are like pawns of Opon, sort of. Okay? And Cropper is trying to figure out what the hell is going on with his dreams and the world of Daru'Histan. That's, while at the same time, Cropper is like, okay, my second favorite character is Cropper.
Yes.
Because he's like the grandfather, like the protective grandfather of the group somehow. But he's always like got the sly thing going on.
Yes.
And Amanda Rake, in Volume 1 at least, he's just this weird maniacal guy who's super powerful and forcing his allegiance on other people. Baruch is just, like we said, the unsung leader, and he's trying to figure out what the hell is going on in Daru'Histan. Those are the subplots. Yeah.
Oh man, you guys are in for a ride.
Yeah. No, I've not gone into detail about Volume 2. I'd love to talk to you about it after.
Definitely. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The other, there's one cool thing, you know, like each character has their own defining characteristic, whether it's part of their personality, or something physical. With Cropper, the thing that I like is that he has this super humble way about talking about things he's doing.
He's and like, then, you know what Cropper is? Cropper is Ric Flair. Cropper is Ric Flair. He's basically like if Ric Flair was like a bard. You call it a humble way. Humble way.
Humble, you know, right? Like, this thing of referring to himself in the third person. It's fantastic. Actually, you're right. Cropper is a very fantastic character. I love him. I love him a lot. It's like that thing of being the wisest guy in the room and then playing it down.
And he also knows. I feel like Cropper knows a lot of what is going, especially. Well, I won't get into later on, but he knows more than anyone.
Yes.
And then he lets on for sure. Yeah. I like him a lot. But that's it for the subplots. What would you say was your best part of this book?
Man, I can't say it because it's
Volume 1.
It's all the way.
Uh-huh.
Something Actually, I'll tell you, it's the most. I wouldn't tell you what it is because I don't know if it's in volume 1, but it's a moment involving Tok the Younger that had me. Number 1, I think it brought me on the verge of tears, and I had to put the book down for a moment because I had to absorb what just happened. Yeah.
You talking about the thing with Herlock?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's volume 2. That's not volume 1.
Yep.
That's not volume 1.
Something happens.
Something happens.
I was just like,
Yeah.
like Simon Pegg in at World's End. What the fuck?
Yeah. What about you? Favorite moment?
My favorite moment in the story
Yeah, so far, yeah.
so far.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I liked that interaction between Hood and Upon.
Well,
The
it wasn't
discussion-
Hood though. It was Hood's minion.
Hood's minion.
Yeah.
So I liked the image of. There are certain things that have stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Like, remember the first major engagement where you have the armies and then there's the mages that are on the hills.
Yeah.
And then they're
Yes.
flinging their magic up at Moonspawn.
Yes.
And then what they think is debris falling is actually giant ravens coming down to attack them.
Yeah.
And then Anomander Rick is busy flinging down magic at them indiscriminately. I want to see that. I just...
Just visual.
Yeah, the way I've seen it in my head, I don't think I'm doing it justice. Somehow.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Somehow.
You feel like
that was very hard to picture as well for me. I found that very difficult.
So there's that, and then there's the whole limbo moment of Upon and Hood's minion
Yes.
talking over Paran.
Yes. The
And,
discussion.
the discussion over who's going to claim him now. And then Upon says, yo, fuck off.
Yeah.
It's mine.
It's mine.
And then Paran bails, comes back into the real world screaming, has zero memory of this, but he just knows. I think I'm being screwed over somehow.
Yeah.
Just more than just his situation in the world.
Just generally. There's some shit going down. I'm at the center of it, but I can't put my finger on it. I knew it. Seconds ago, I knew it. Now I can't.
It's hazy. It's
Yeah,
gone.
it's hazy, it's good. So small elements like those.
Dude, wait till you get to sorry shit. Wow.
Woo! Let me get that.
That book.
Let me get that.
Wow.
It's
just.
Yeah. For me, I have so many moments. The opening where you had the initial thing where the Fisher girl, is watching the armies go by, and those two figures step out from the other side and send the hounds after those guys. And then you get the aftermath with Paran and the Agent looking at this river of bodies and
Exactly.
shit.
Yes.
That for me was
That was the opening.
this book is going to be... Yeah, that was just the opening. This book is going to kill things. This is what I thought. And then it goes 3 years later. So I was like, wait, what?
We're deep in the.
I was like, it was becoming like that whole tension. I think in that first chapter, that tension for me was just so well done and just setting the tone. And I would argue that this whole first volume is just sort of building the world, because the second volume is just proceeding with the story. There's no world building in the second volume. It's because they've already done it. So I like that part, and then okay, not every moment. With Amanda Rake, when he meets Baruch, the way he comes to the room to have that conversation. That was. I was like, wow. And then his sword, he asks for the mages. I want their heads. Okay, do you want just their heads, or do you want them alive? It's up to. It doesn't matter how you bring them to me. If I bring them to you alive, will you use that sword? He's like, yes, I will. I'll bring you their heads. I don't want to see you use that sword. Wow. During that moment, I was like, what?
You'd think one is easier than the other, but the guy doesn't want the easy option.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's
I
all.
will kill them for you. I will bring you their heads. Don't bring your sword out. Wow.
No, I just kill them myself.
Wow.
We'll deal
In
with
fact,
it.
my best moment in books is actually in the second volume, involving an Amanda, but I'll talk about it after the show. It's so good. Shit.
Oh yeah.
And then also that whole chase sequence with when you're first introduced to Daru'Histan, where you have Crocus robbing that chick, and then the assassin war going on with with all those assassins attacking each other and all that shit was going on.
Yeah.
So that whole massive chase sequence, that it's almost like the Aquaman movie where they flip from Mira to Aquaman.
Yeah.
It felt like that kind of situation actually.
You're on this level of the action, then you come down to street level, then you're in the building.
Yeah. That was really well done. I like that sequence, man. The action in this book is really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. It's very well staged. If we must use such a term, because you're reading it happen.
The set pieces are like it would make such a good series.
Show, movie.
Like this would
huge. Okay.
As
a movie,
I like
is
Game of Thrones. I like Game of Thrones. This would shit all over it.
Yeah.
Like this really would shit all over Game of Thrones. Like it's that good.
Alright. But it would be damn expensive.
I don't know.
Imagine how much it would cost.
Yes.
To render a Hound of Shadow.
I don't even.
No, you could they could do it.
They could just be dogs.
No, because all the dogs are very unique.
But when you could put a dog in like a green jumpsuit.
Why? Why not just
you mock-up with a dog? You do actual mock-up with a dog. But then
so you get the capture of the actual dog moving around.
Yeah.
Chasing.
But then you just change
They've done wolves pretty well. Like do you remember Brotherhood of the Wolf? Did you ever watch that?
Yes,
where it's a lion that's sort of made to look like a wolf.
Yeah,
that looked. That was all prosthetics, I guess. But if they could do that, they could definitely do the hounds, I think.
Yeah, the hounds can be done. I'm like what you described with the assault on Moonspawn. Yeah, and actually there is a basis for that because
how would they do the Morant's animal thing, their flying mounts? How would they do that?
That's Avatar.
No, let's not even go too far with that. That's Avatar spliced with Krypton in Man of Steel.
Oh yeah. That's Avatar Man of Steel. That's done. You have a
done. You have the
because there are 4 wings. That's possible.
What were you saying? Sorry.
No. He's just building on what I was saying before. The references for building the kind of big set pieces that we're talking about in the book, they already exist. You have Aquaman with the attack.
With the chasing.
Yeah. That's happened in Daru'Histan. You have the assault on Moonspawn.
LOTR gave us the big staged wars.
Big stage wars, exactly.
But Moonspawn is a floating freaking city.
Well, it's the mage war.
It's the mage war.
Moonspawn. That would be fucking new for everyone.
Insane.
Because now everything. Okay, think about it this way. All the magic we've ever seen on screen.
You had magic.
Different.
You had magic.
Yeah.
And the mages. You had a giant who's a mage.
Yes.
You had a little person who's a mage. You had a fire mage.
Yeah.
You had Tattersail. And you had
Tatian on top of all
freaking Tatian. Okay? These are the mages.
And then
you have Moonspawn shit.
Up there. Things just coming down.
No,
and you have now armies waiting.
Yeah.
Plus demons. Plus demons.
Yes.
Like what?
Now, this is why I said this was like a video game.
Yeah.
Because every single movie or series that we've watched that has magic, even Sabrina, the kind of magic that they have is all behind the scenes.
It's a bit,
It's not in your face like here it is.
Yeah.
Even like in Lord of the Rings, you never see like Gandalf doing.
Yeah, it's subtle. It's like
he just has a light, and that's what happens.
No, he goes
in this.
Yes, whispering.
And then something.
The eagles.
Yeah. Then in this one, you're told when now Tatian kicks the bout off.
Yeah.
He literally throws like power at Moonspawn, and you're like, okay. Me in my head, I'm like, okay, I was likening it to what's it called, to Guild Wars. Because when you're a mage, you do actually like fling spells at guys.
Yeah.
But it's it's like a warp of reality that you're throwing at someone. Yeah. So it looks like you're throwing like a portal at someone, kind of, in a way.
Personally, I pictured it like a rainbow wave, like an aurora borealis brought to life that has some sort of impact.
Yeah, that has impact and force.
Like I see some colorful things and then a boom.
Yeah, so like even now when you're told now Amanda Rake is now shooting magic back now.
Exactly.
I'm just imagining he's shooting black.
Yeah, exactly.
Black auroras at guys.
For me, it's black and blue.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think.
No,
For me, it was just all black.
His warren, we find out about his warren and his people and what kind of magic they use as well, where they come from, all that stuff.
Yep.
Ay. Oh, we did not talk about Tool.
Yeah, the Tlani mass.
Shit. So this was in volume 1. There's this character who comes in later who's this undead thing, who's assigned to the agent, and they have a mission. It's not explained in volume 1 what that mission is, but then they have these conversations that again do this world building of the world that it's set in. So it turns out that there were 3 before man. There were 3 races. One I don't know. Then the Jaghut and the Talanai Mas, who are the undead guys that Tool is. And Tool is just the nickname he was given. His name is Ula something.
Yeah, it's
Ula something Imas, right? And so, because he's like 300,000 years old or some crap like that, he has all this knowledge that humans don't have. So he's like, he even mentions like races that no one knows anything about, and even like Quickben alludes that there's another race, like there's the Tista or something else. No, it's Tista what?
Tista Andur.
Yeah, and no one knows what the hell they are. We know what the Tista Andi are. What are those things? Yeah. So it does so much of that kind of stuff, and just Tool as a character, he's very blah. Very blah and very blunt.
Yes.
And I love his character also. Like, he's maybe my 3rd favorite. Although,
Rick, Amanda Rake is number 1.
He's still number 1.
And
even for me, like
I'll tell you what he does in after we end the show. Oh my god. What he says is just the best thing I have ever heard in a book. Like the most badass situation. I'm just like, what? It's so good. I'll tell you after the show. But just read these books, guys.
Yeah,
guys, read this book.
If you're a fan of fantasy, do yourself a service. Pick up the first book.
Yeah, do it on audio if you have trouble.
If you have trouble reading it, do the audio.
But it's really worth it.
And the good thing with the audiobook is, like, this is going to be like, I realized this on the way here, that a lot of this is going to be a plug for, like, Audible.
Yeah.
You can get Audible for free for, like, 30 days.
You can get 1 book.
You can get 1 book. You can actually get 2 books. But with the 1 token, you're given 2 tokens, I think, for free, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, because I got 2 tokens. And now they keep asking me to get another book. And 1 token is enough to get the full set of this book. If there's 1 audiobook that's worth getting, get this one.
Yeah.
Cool.
It is. Yeah. It is really good.
It's like how many hours? Like
13 hours for 1 book, 13 hours for the second.
Yeah,
so 26
easy.
hours.
26 hours.
And it sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But
it's
honestly, I was shocked. So the first 3 chapters took me about 3 days to go through because I was just going at it slowly. But then for me, it just literally picked up, and I think I finished it in under a week. To the point I'm like, Hillary, where have you reached?
That time was behind.
I'm like,
You're like, what's happening?
Yeah, how did you pass me?
When did you?
When do you find the time?
No, so then for me it got really exciting, and I just did like one whenever I had the chance and started watching something because it was really that good.
Because like now for me, I usually do it now in my commute. So I'll do it in 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening.
Yeah.
Going to and from work, and then like another loose hour in the evening.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. The audiobook sounds like the best way to go. I think I did both. I think I tried both. The first book I read an ebook, so because I wanted to get used to how this guy writes. And then the second one I tried the audiobook. but then I found myself not paying attention. So I ended up just going back and
To the book.
Yeah, to the book itself. So for me, reading it actually works just as well. But that's just
fair enough.
But the audiobook it's cool. It's good. Just listen to a few.
Do what works for you.
Yeah,
do
do
it.
what works
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
I know guys who've read every single one of these books hard copy.
Yeah.
I know guys who've read every one of these books
I am
ebooks.
so blown away. Whoever told you about these books, just thank them for me, man.
No,
Wow.
actually, the person who's been trying to get me to go back to read this
Yeah.
is a Harry Potter fan, like blue blood Harry Potter, like to the end. She loves that kind of fantasy. Then her boyfriend is actually the guy who introduced all of us into this story. So when he read it, he gave all of us the books.
Yeah.
She refused to read it for like the longest time because she didn't think it was her thing.
Yeah.
Then she did, and she went ahead and got everything else. Read those. She's on the prequel books now. She's reading those now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if this can convert, like now you,
Harry Potter
yeah,
fan.
can convert a Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
It's converted Lord of the Rings fans. This is amazing. This book it stands on its own.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, if you don't know about it, it's one of those hidden gems that I really think that you would enjoy.
Definitely.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Malazan Book of the Fallen by Steven Erikson.
Gardens of the Moon, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it.
Read the whole series if you can read the whole series.
Oh yeah.
Also, the series that I was telling you guys.
You were told that this is the most boring book in the series.
Yeah, so this is the most difficult to get through.
Yeah.
How?
Book 1 is the most difficult to get through because it's introducing everything to you. You have to. This is when you're learning about the Warrens, you're learning about races.
In fact, I'll put in a what do you call it? A caveat. You think book 1 is the hardest to get through. Yes, it is actually the hardest. But then now 2, Deadhouse does something that throws you off balance. So when you're reading all the books, actually what I've been told by someone who's read the series twice is that once you're able to get through the first 3 books, if it's extremely difficult for you, like not for us, because it's not extremely difficult. It's had its challenges, but it's not extremely difficult. But if you get through the first 3 books, then you're definitely going to finish the whole series. Yeah, definitely.
I
Please.
just highly recommended for me. I think this is the highest score I will ever give.
Give it a 10, dude. No, you give it a 9. You give it a 9.
Nine just because like if honestly if when you started you never had an issue finishing this and people didn't complain about it would be an easy 10. But I think there is a legit reason why people can't.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's true. It is. There's a reason. For me, I just gave it a 10 because it broke my head several times. And when I was done, I thought, man, I need to get into the second one. Then I did. And then now
Not the third.
the third one is where I've been stuck for a while. That's because the third one, it's like going back to school and then you find everybody in school has changed. It's different.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
So-
I can't wait.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Wow.
So yes, get this book series
Yeah.
however you can,
Yeah.
in whatever medium
Format
or
you
format.
Yeah. Do it.
Yes.
Next time we're doing a movie
That's your choice.
and I'm choosing.
Yeah.
And have you guys done Mowgli?
Oh yeah.
You have.
Yes.
Okay. Will you be joining us next time?
I'll
Do you think?
maybe, hopefully.
It'll probably be.
Yeah.
We might record the episode sooner. We'll give you guys 2 weeks
Yeah. But
from when
we'll-
you're hearing this, but we'll probably record this sooner.
Yeah.
If so, I mean, have you done Solomon Kane?
Have I?
Solomon Kane is the guy who did Conan the Barbarian.
Robert
that
T.
creator.
Howard. Yeah.
Before Conan, he created Solomon Kane, and there was a movie.
Yes.
I don't know whether it's good.
Is it James Purefoy who's in that movie?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to check.
Oh. Yeah. Just know. I may have watched Solomon Kane, but I'm not sure. But okay. All right. So Solomon Kane.
Yeah, we do either Mowgli. Like I can't decide. Mowgli, Batman Ninja, Solomon Kane. Like one of those.
Yeah, Pure Foy is in it.
It's James Purefoy.
Yeah.
Then I watched this.
You watched it?
Yes, I have. But I will need a refresher. I'll have to remind myself.
So you can watch it again.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
decide it's yours.
Yes,
Is it Mowgli,
yes.
Solomon Kane, or what is it?
God, I really want to watch both.
Do it.
Okay, let's do Mowgli.
Be greedy.
Let's do
You know,
Mowgli.
we could do both because it's an hour each.
Yeah.
No, let's not confuse that one. If I do Mowgli, I got to do Jungle Book first because I haven't watched the Jungle Book.
Okay.
Okay.
remake as well. Okay, let's just do Solomon Kane.
All right.
Okay.
Solomon Kane.
Yeah. So next time, join us for watching an old school movie. Well, it's not that old, but Solomon Kane.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if it's bad, but let's watch it.
We don't
Yeah.
we don't apologize
We
if it's
don't
bad. We just want people to know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we saw something called Solomon
It's
Kane.
on our backlog, so
Yes.
Also, we watched the last Starfighter.
Yeah, and that was decent.
Sober.
And that was decent.
yeah,
It was decent.
it was yeah.
You know, actually, what we should do is we should actually watch a movie that has been deemed as horrendous.
What?
I don't know, just a really bad movie one day. Like,
Yeah. Okay, next time.
yeah, like there's
Batman v Superman.
Oh, Bird Box is apparently people are complaining
Yo.
about it.
People are complaining about
Complaining?
it. You guys loved it.
complaining.
Okay, we have two different.
Everywhere I've seen
What?
guys are
Guys are into it.
Yeah.
I personally liked it because
I still
It
haven't
looked
watched
cool.
it.
It
Yeah, I
looked
haven't
cool.
watched
cool. Yeah, I watched it.
I've
I
been
enjoyed
told.
it. The
On net when I log into Netflix, I see it.
And you
I
press
watch
play.
I
Yeah.
watch
and
other
you watch other things because it's
and also because you guys I've got so much shit because I've never watched Black Mirror.
I'm saving that. I
is-
haven't watched that yet. I'm saving it.
Is it that you've never watched Black Mirror
watched-
or you haven't watched the Black Mirror that's on Netflix?
I've never watched. Okay, let me tell you this. I've watched 2 episodes of Black Mirror. Okay, now 3. The first episode, I watched episode 1, season 1, Black Mirror, the one about the pig.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched that when it came
Yeah,
out. I
yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I never went back to Black Mirror since until Bandersnatch came out a few weeks back. Then I watched Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
So having watched now Bandersnatch and you choose your own adventure thing, and I really enjoyed that, and I'm like, okay, fine, let me give Black Mirror a chance, because the reason why I stopped watching it back then was because everybody's in here, you need to watch it, you need to watch it, you need to watch it, you need to watch it. that kind of shit puts me off.
That water cooler thing. Eh?
Yeah.
We must all be talking. And
Yeah, I hate that vibe. So when people tell me to watch something, I stop, and I realize my girlfriend is in the exact same way. That's why I don't tell her to watch anything. Now,
Yeah.
because of that, I just picked Black Mirror one random day, picked an
okay.
episode, started watching.
Okay.
That's why now those guys were wondering why I started in season 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if every episode is different, then it doesn't matter where I start. I can watch it.
Because they're standalone. Anyway.
Yeah, the standalone anyway. Because in any case, I watched, what's this thing called? Modern Family. I watched it backwards.
I started with the new ones.
Yeah, I started from the new ones at the time, from season 4, and I watched back to season 1.
Yeah.
And then I came back to season 5.
Yeah.
So even in this, I'll watch it in an unstandard way.
So actually, you watched the show and it got better.
Yeah, that's why I was
Because you
like,
watched it backwards.
yeah, because I watched it backwards, it got better. So I'll watch it like this.
That's genius.
Super tangent. Super tangent.
So yes, yeah, completely different.
Yeah. So what's Solomon Kane? No, some shows are.
Yeah,
I've noticed that some animes are better if you watch the second season first.
like which one?
Trash shows. Like Is This a Zombie of the Dead? Watch the second season, and because I thought the second season was the first season because Japanese naming conventions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was more enjoyable that way. I think I would have enjoyed it less if I watched the second season. Because it was like more random and it's a comedy show.
Oh yeah.
So there's a vampire there's like a vampire chick. There are 2 vampire chicks living with this guy because there are 2 vampires. You know, like I don't want a backstory for that.
Yeah.
I'd rather just accept the
Start with the
random
story,
nature
yeah.
and just go with it. And yeah, it was much easier, much more fun.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But anyways, what's Solomon
Solomon
Kane?
Kane.
What's Solomon Kane?
That is the whole point of this digression. Watch Solomon Kane.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm Hell's Knight.
I'm Hillary.
I'm Ed.
Have fun.
Have fun. Oh yeah, sorry.
And thanks.
Quick one. Again, another like sorry. Another version.
It's alright.
The book series that I was saying that's similar to this,
Yeah.
but not exactly the same, that I really enjoyed. Because the guy who pitched it to me told me that I'd like both. If I like that one, I like this one. It's called the First Law trilogy.
The first?
The First Law.
Is that
Lore or law?
Law, like
L-E-W.
L-A-W, law.
Is this Abercrombie or
Yeah,
what?
Joe Abercrombie.
Joe Abercrombie, right?
Yeah, Joe Abercrombie.
This is the one where he wrote it as a dare.
Yeah,
Yeah, get that
yeah,
one.
get that one.
Yeah, get that one too.
Yeah. It's more action-packed. A lot more action. Okay, it's action.
I want to deal with this one
Yeah,
first.
deal with this one first, but then we get to that one.
Yeah.
So just for your own like
Yeah,
memory
if you're looking
stuff,
for
just
more
remember. Yeah, if you're looking for more and this
recommendations.
and this doesn't work for you, try Joe Abercrombie and Gene Wolfe if you like it.
Good. Lovely.
Okay.
Have fun.
Have fun, guys.
Have fun.